I'm going to ask you about one of your videos now, Jim, which was the video for "So Good to Be Back Home Again," because
Oh yeah.
you actually filmed that about 5 miles away from where I live on the Quainton railway station, the
Oh
railway
really?
museum. Yeah.
Ah,
Do you remember much of that day? Because it looked like it was freezing cold.
no, I don't remember anything. Oh wait a minute. Yes, yeah, it was. I do remember now. It was really. I think it was -5, and we had to get there at 6 in the morning. Um, all films are made. Actors, I don't know how they do it. They have to get up at 5. Anyway, that's another story. Um, it was freezing cold, obviously. We had we had made a lot of money with the previous single, so I guess the record company, in their infinite wisdom, um, thought, oh well, let's spend some money so we don't pay so much tax. So we hired a bloody cheap way. Yeah, that was fun. It was. I don't understand much about cameras, but it was. I think it was movie quality, film quality cameras, and it was. There were quite a few of them. Um, the idea again was that again I had no input into that idea.
Yeah.
Um, I can only assume it was Annie and Dave again. Being there. Let's think they're very good at coming up with. I mean, look at the videos they made with the Eurythmics. I mean, they were classics. You could just watch them without the soundtrack. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Very, very clever, inventive videos. No, it was great. And those people that come over the bridge were actually all our mates from London.
Oh, were
It
they?
was girlfriend. Yeah, yeah. The girls like open audience. So rent a car.
Renting
They
mob.
want to come and be on. We shipped them there in a couple of buses, I think. Oh yeah, this is a little offshoot of that. Is I met a journalist the nights before we did that. I used to frequent Dingwall's Dance Hall, which is a
Yeah.
bar in Camden Town. So I was quite a regular. I was sort of doing this sort of number at the bar. And he said, "Oh yeah, how's the band going?" And I thought, "Oh, be a journalist, bit wary of journalists." But of course, I was very relaxed. And I told him that we're going to do this movie at 5 in the morning with a train. And he said, "Oh, I'd love to come to that." I said, "Oh, okay. Look, I'll, I'll." I thought we might get a good review, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, mate. You seem all right. I'll write the name down on a castle or something, probably. And promptly completely forgot. And apparently turned up, and there was some sort of security around the platform, and they kept him waiting. And apparently he ended up he had to go home. I mean, I completely blown him. And the reviewer he gave us, the reviewer he gave us, I think it was Sounds magazine, was pop stars, big letters. Don't you just love them? EM apostrophe. And that was all. That was all courtesy of me. Um, and he related this dreadful story about how he was not allowed in. It was all he. It was all me, which I thought was bad journalism anyway. But that was one thing I learned from that doing that video. If you're talking to people in the industry, you should really remember.
Yeah.
Actually, David and I don't know that. Can you please tell them? I never even got the bad review. Oh God, I just remembered that. Maybe you shouldn't tell them that.
Oh, I like it. So, obviously, you got to work with some really interesting people. Connie Plank being one of them. Um, what, 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 what? How do you describe his approach to getting the best out of the band in the studio?
Well, unfortunately, he didn't really. The first album wasn't particularly well produced.
Mm.
A lovely man. I mean, he was quite eccentric. I'd been to Germany quite a lot in different bands before that, but it was nice to be in Cologne in his studio, and he would everything is very good, and I like the way you all, it's all very, and it was, but for some unknown reason, he didn't quite capture the excitement we got, as I said earlier, at the old grey whistle test.
Yeah.
Was just basic, basic miking the drums, and we got it, But Connie, I don't know, it never really worked. But what I liked about him was he had this, in the studio you got the big speakers, and we'd all listen, and sort of, yeah, that sounds good. And then he'd say, okay, we now go in my car. And we had this big old Mercedes, and we'd all sit in the back of his Mercedes, and he'd do a mix, and he'd play it back through these tinny little cheap stereo, little radio speakers.
Yeah.
And we drive around Cologne, and I said, look, there's a bar there, Connie, why don't we? Oh yes, or we have a. So we went from bar to bar. I remember the last one. By this time, everything sounded fabulous, at these little speakers. And we had a drink which was it was very strong. It was coffee, and you could actually eat coffee with little beads, and you set fire to it. And it was, he loved what he did.
Yeah.
And he was quite eccentric. I've always liked eccentric. He was, oh yeah, we do this, and then we would all get in the back of the car again the next night. Drive around again and go to the same bars. Yeah, and I actually met him. I invited when the Eurythmics played in Sydney. I said to Dave, you got Monday night off. They were doing a week. I think they'd sold out the entertainment centre in Sydney for a week. I said, Dave, you got Monday off. Come round and have dinner. I my girlfriend and I, no, let's go out. I said, well, look, there's this pub I frequent called the London Tavern, which is right in the middle of Edgecombe, the kind of Harrington area. So it's all artists, and it's a very, very cool area, and a great pub. And I said, Monday night, Dave, they do, you get 2 pints of Guinness for the price of one. As if he could get it. Oh, that sounds great. And I said, look, when you come in, the bar is full of musos. Don't go in the public bar, come round the other side, and I'll be in the private bar with a few of my friends that I'd like to meet, And I'm looking out the window, sort of got me 2 pints of Guinness, and I saw this stretched white limo. It's a very narrow street, and the limo was on the pavement and not half on the road. And then Dave sort of fell out the door with a vivid red jacket and long hair. And the pub just went, wow, and out came this big bouncer, and I thought, well, he's a bodyguard, But it turned out to be Connie Plank, who I guess was mixing the monitors or something, I don't know, on the tour. And it was lovely seeing him again. He came in, he was still the same, yeah, he's a lovely man, but I was surprised when Dave and I went back and after the band split. And oddly enough, I was very flattered. They asked me to go to Germany with them, back to Connie's place, start again. And I probably foolishly said no. I said, Dave, look, I've had it 3 years. And again, it was in a bar, And I said, no, I'm not really. And I said, what's the name of the band, What are you going to call yourselves? He said, Eurythmics. I said, what? He said, Eurythmics. And I went, Eurythmics. I said, Dave, that's a terrible name.
Oh.
I said, that's the most unconventional name I've ever heard of. I said, look, in the tours, everyone, it's a good, solid.
Yeah.
And he said, we're calling it Eurythmics, not Eurythmics. And I went, oh, okay. I still have trouble spelling it. But anyway, off they went, and they recorded the first album.
In the garden.
And I guess I should have gone, but I was surprised. I thought Annie especially had enough of me. But yeah, so that was a nice feeling, and I would have loved to have seen Connie. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah.
some years ago.
Yeah, he was only in his late 40s, I think, when he died.
Yeah, yeah, probably too many snaps in those bars he kept going around. And that was the drink, snaps with
The
coffee in
schnapps,
it.
yeah. So obviously the end of the tourists, it was quite abrupt, wasn't it? In the end, with Pete literally just getting on a plane back to the UK, leaving the rest of you to work out what you were going to be doing.
Yeah, I remember this conversation very clearly. Pete and I would always, for someone know me, and be the last ones in the bar. We were in the hotel. We'd just done this dreadful gig, as I remember, and you know, you could hear we were, you know, we were completely exhausted. We hadn't had a break for 3 years, and he had this suit. I'm sure he got it from an up shop, and he had the first time I ever met him. I think he had the same. And whatever country we were in, Pete wouldn't address. You know, in Australia it's like 30 degrees. We'd all wear shorts, obviously, when we're travelling during the day. Pete guy's got his suit, and he's sitting in his suit on, and he said, "I'm going home tomorrow." I said, "Oh, Pete, oh, are you? Yeah, you're going?" He said, "Yeah, I'm just going. Actually, I'm leaving." I went, "Oh," I said, "Pete, do you know where we are?" Because I thought he'd forgotten we were in Australia. And he said, "No, I know where we are." He said, "We're in Australia." I said, "Oh, well done, Pete." Him and I had this lovely sort of silly rapport going for the time I knew him. And I went to, you know, I crashed out. And next morning I came down to breakfast and he stayed at Annie. And I don't think Eddie was there. And I was stiff. I went, "Hello guys, morning, you know, where's everybody?" And they said, "He's gone home." I said, "Who?" I said, "Pete. He's phoned the record company at 3 in the morning or something, or the record management company, and they got him a flight and he's gone." So I said, "Well, what are we going to do? You know, I mean, they've got all these gigs to finish, you know, probably another couple of weeks." And we did them as a 4-piece, but, you know, I tried to make positive. Well, look, you know, this could be the best thing that's ever happened. You know, the lovely guy Pete is, but of course, we didn't have time to rearrange the repertoire because it was 80% Pete and 10%, you know, David Annie and what does that be? 90. Yeah, so we had a small number of songs.
Yeah.
And of course, we had to perform Pete's songs, and it without the other guitar, and that was more stressful. So it sort of petered out. Actually, I remember the last gig that I had a percussion stick, which was which is in one of the songs. And I used to play it in the show. And we got to the last song, and I just got hold of it and I threw it in the air into the crowd. And it was sort of, nothing happened, you know. It wasn't like, you know, we're now free and we're finished and we're going to reschedule. It was a very sad ending. It sort of petered out. You know?
Yeah.
So that was the last gig, yeah. And then we all went back to England. Yeah.
Sure. So, so fast forward 40 years to where we are today. What are you doing now?
What am I doing? Oh, I don't know. I'm in this studio with, I don't know. I recorded with a young girl singer today. I've actually gone back to playing a lot of recording sessions. This is quite boring actually, but I'm playing. I'm doing a book launch on the 7th of April.
Yep.
Steve, I'll put you on the guest list. Come on, mate.
I'd love to.
Only a 37 hour time. Is it still snowing, by the way?
It was this week, but it's just finished. It's all gone now.
It's been really big news over here.
Yeah, well,
these photos of London with someone sent a photo. There was a photo. There was, instead of a snowman, they'd built 2 big boots of snow, and I thought, well, that's a bit odd, you know. And it said underneath, I thought, yes, that's what I miss about England. You know, that lovely English eccentricity.
Eccentricity, yeah.
I can't remember the question. What was the question?
What are you up to today? What are you up to now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm recording and I'm doing a bit of songwriting today, actually, with some of my lyrics, with a great guitar player called Mick Mellett. If you listen closely, he's in the actual studio with a really good keyboard player.
Mm.
And we're doing a show which is a tribute. We're calling the show, this is at the book launch,
Yep.
celebrating the music of Pete Coombs, Eurythmics and Dave Stewart. So we're doing some tourist songs.
Excellent.
We're doing two shows, one with tourist songs, and then one with another show with. I think we're doing. I've got the website list on there. Song list. We're doing some of Annie's solo stuff, some of a lot of the Eurythmics songs.
Yeah.
Which is a blast for me because
I bet it is.
I'm really checking out. Dave's drum machine writing was I'm trying to simulate it on a kit, and I'm using some electronic drums too. Yeah, so we're doing that as a show because I thought, well, book launches are so boring. You get the author sitting there bored all day. Oh yeah, in the bookshop. So I thought, no, let's make it a live
Do it a gig, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, and it's such a blast because we've got this amazing girl singer called Meg Fiddle, who's actually an opera singer,
Okay.
trained opera singer, and she does musical comedy. And when Meg rang me up and said, Jim, I've got this great girl, I said, look, Mick, I'll come over, but for a woman for a girl singer to be able to reach those notes that Annie,
yeah,
and she just cleaned it. She is so good. So, but what was interesting, we're doing these tourist songs, and I thought, yeah, this is good. And then it on the list came up, because these guys I'm working with, they're real professionals. They've got the iPad, the pad with all the notation and the lyrics, and they're it's like just turning up and they got it all together. You know what I mean? They're really professional people, including her. And it came up. I only want to be with you.
Ah.
So I went, and I said in the studio, I said, how does it go? I can't remember. And we actually, when we started playing it, I went. It was really quite an emotional moment for me because I hadn't played that song for like God knows 20 something years.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, and I remembered the breaks and everything. And when it finished, it was a bit sort of. I felt. What's the word? It was like a cathartic. I'd sort of gone back in time, and
yeah.
And I enjoyed that rehearsal so much, and I'm really looking forward to this gig. We'll probably won't. I don't know. We'll stay together after that, but it's good night. And I'll put your name on the list.
Pete, do you know? I have so many friends in Australia and New Zealand, and it's we're going to make sure a few of them can get along to the book signing for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will do the predictable thing of signing the books.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
I'll do that, but it's not going to be a boring night.
No, that sounds great.
Celebration for me too, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time today. I think you've given us some brilliant answers and given us an insight into a few of the stories that are in the book. I've purposely not asked you about all of them to make sure people have to go and buy the book. Because we need more than 6 sales, don't we?
Actually, I think it's 7.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, the guy that's fixing my car. That's it. I drive him. I said, look, I can give you a bit.
So I'm gonna stop the interview now. Thank you very much, Jim, and really appreciate your time.
Yeah, and I hope the snow clears up and everything. And come over to Australia. I'd love to meet you.
Oh, thank you.